Hello everyone. Welcome to Book Summaries, where knowledge and wealth building secrets are shared without limits. Ladies and gentlemen, today, I will reveal to you a closely guarded secret by the elite, those who have transformed their lives into spectacular success stories. This is a profound message, meant only for those who are ready to broaden their horizons and truly understand the real value of wealth. In the world of the wealthy, there are 7 treasures that they relentlessly seek, even competing fiercely to acquire, while the poor regard them as worthless. Hello everyone. In today's video, we will not only go through those things but also explore why the rich strive to buy them at any cost. You will see that these are not just luxurious items or mere material possessions, but investments in themselves, in knowledge, health, relationships, and priceless spiritual values that not everyone can understand. Why do the poor often overlook these important investments, and how can we change our mindset and start investing like a wealthy person? Join me as we delve into every detail, uncover the secrets behind each of their choices, and learn how we can apply them to our own lives to break through, not just financially, but also in our careers and personal development. Get ready to take notes, reflect, and change, because you are about to embark on a life-changing journey. Don't miss out, and welcome to Book Summaries, where dreams become reality. Before we get into the content, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share to support the channel. Thank you very much. Lesson 1. Spend borrowed money. Some people think that those who borrow money to buy a house are poor, but that is just a lack of understanding. In reality, who borrows more money from the bank, the rich or the poor? It is definitely the rich, because no bank is willing to lend money to the poor. The poor deposit money in the bank, while the rich borrow money from the bank to invest in businesses and hire the poor to work for them. This is the greatest trick. The poor are busy earning money, while their money is idle. On the other hand, the rich are idle while their money is busy growing. This is an undeniable reality. Senior Vice President of the World Bank and renowned economist, Lin Yifu, once said, "The poor deposit money in the bank, which essentially subsidizes the rich." So, why should we, ordinary people, borrow as much as possible instead of trying to pay off debts early? Let me give a vivid example of this. It's the story of Wang Zikong, the son of Chinese billionaire Wang Jianlun, who asked his father, "Dad, how much money does our family have?" Wang Jianlun replied, "Our family could spend money for a lifetime and not run out." But when Wang Zikong further asked, "How much debt does our family have?" the answer was, "In terms of debt, even 8 generations of work wouldn't pay it off." So, why can someone like Wang Jianlun confidently incur such large amounts of debt and still remain at the top of China's rich list? The secret lies in his financial strategy of using debt. It may sound irrational, but in reality, he is using debt to combat inflation. That debt is not just a burden but also capital to make money generate more money. In today's era, when money is being printed more than ever before, understanding how to use debt to your advantage is very important. Suppose you have 100 dong, and you can buy 4 kilograms of pork, but if the amount of money in circulation doubles, the real value of your 100 dong will decrease by 50%, and you will only be able to buy 2 kilograms of pork. However, if you borrow 1 million dong, inflation also reduces the value of your debt by 50%. So, you almost do nothing, yet you can repay the debt more easily. This is completely contrary to the traditional thinking that many people still hold, only borrowing when absolutely necessary, while the typical asset accumulation trajectory of an average person is to work hard and save for 10 years to have initial capital. On the contrary, the rich not only work hard but also find ways to borrow money immediately to invest and make a profit. They are willing to pay interest to accelerate this process by up to 10 years. Hopefully, this story not only offers a fresh perspective on financial management but also inspires you on your financial journey. The rich, by being willing to pay interest, can save up to 10 years of time, while the poor, even when working hard, often keep their money in the bank, letting it sit idle without generating any profit. If you only know how to save, the more you save, the poorer you become. According to data analysis, the global inflation rate in 2022 was around 8%. This means that if you have 1 million Vietnamese dongs, the next year, that amount will only be worth 920,000 Vietnamese dongs. After just 1 year of inactivity, you would have lost about 80,000 Vietnamese dongs. The difference between the rich and the poor lies not only in the amount of money they earn but also in how they use it. The poor often see business opportunities, but due to a lack of tens of millions, they cannot proceed and ultimately miss out. If you believe that your business or investment can generate returns exceeding the interest rate, you should consider borrowing funds. However, there is a prerequisite: you must not borrow money for consumption. Most ordinary people borrow money for consumption, which only traps them in a vicious cycle, becoming increasingly poor. If you borrow money for consumption, it is worse than not borrowing at all, and debt should have only one purpose: to buy assets. In fact, gifting is the fastest way to wealth in this society. It is one of the core secrets to success for all wealthy people. The gifting mindset is an open secret among the elite, but most people are unaware of its true nature. The better you are at gifting, the more successful you will become. I hope these insights provide you with a fresh perspective on personal financial management and open new doors in your financial journey. Lesson 2. Spending money on gifts. Many people do not realize the true importance of giving gifts, but let me explain. The better you are at giving gifts, the more successful you will be. After all, everyone who receives gifts is working for the gift giver. Here's a prime example. Mr. James, though not good at communication, always brought 2 packs of cigarettes and 2 bottles of wine whenever he visited his boss's house. One time, his boss assigned him a project through which Mr. James earned 30 million. He then gave 20 million to his boss's parents and continued sending gifts to his boss throughout the year. In less than a year, he had earned 3 billion and allocated 30% of that money to thank his boss for the support. Thanks to this, he became the most trusted person beside his boss. In the following year, he earned 6 billion, while his boss had taken nearly 20 years to build his career and relationships. Yet, Mr. James took less than 2 years to grasp it all. In essence, his boss was working for Mr. James when he gave gifts. A small tip: you should choose something the recipient likes, not what you like. For example, if your boss doesn't smoke but you give him a cigarette case that you think is wonderful, your boss may not appreciate it. Suppose you have a client whose birthday is coming up, and you want to spend 1 million Vietnamese dongs on a gift. You could buy a bottle of wine for 1 million Vietnamese dongs, but it wouldn't be an outstanding gift. Instead, you should learn about the client's preferences. If they like wine, don't give them wine, because 1 million Vietnamese dongs won't buy a high-quality bottle. Instead, consider giving a wine glass or a set of glasses worth 1 million Vietnamese dongs. When the client holds the glass and sees that it's made of crystal, they will be very impressed and will think of you every time they use it. Gift giving is an art, an unspoken culture, an unwritten rule in the elite circles, regarded as a vital skill in wealthy families, but considered inappropriate in poorer ones. It is not only the fastest way to become rich but also the quickest way to earn trust and build relationships in both business and life. In wealthy families, Gift giving is considered basic life knowledge, while in poorer families, this act is often seen as an inappropriate maneuver. However, it cannot be denied that maintaining relationships through gift giving is an art that should be applied skillfully and regularly. Gifts do not necessarily have to be expensive, but they should be frequent and appropriate to avoid being seen as a last-minute plea. Relationship care should be built gradually, day by day, rather than just in a single instance. When giving gifts to those with fewer resources, choose items they would not be willing to buy for themselves. Conversely, when giving gifts to the wealthy, the less cost-effective the gift, the better, as long as it makes them remember you. Lesson 3. Buy feng shui. Bill Gates once said that whenever he wanted to open a new Microsoft branch anywhere in the world, he would always request a feng shui expert to inspect the location before making a decision. Although many people view feng shui as superstition, why does a Westerner, even the richest person in the world, trust it so much? Everywhere he goes and every room he stays in, he seeks the approval of a feng shui master. Billionaire Jack Ma also believes in feng shui. It is known that the headquarters of Alibaba consists of 7 buildings, each with 7 floors, based on his belief that 7 is good and 8 is bad. He has shared that when he first rented an office in Hong Kong, he rejected a location because he thought the feng shui was poor, after discovering that 6 companies had previously closed down there. Through these stories, we see that even the most successful people apply spiritual elements in their business, which highlights the importance of understanding and respecting cultural factors, even when they seem unrelated to business expertise. When planning to move a company, one thing to do is to check whether the previous company at that location was successful. Jack Ma once stated in the program, Winning in China, that he believes quite a bit in feng shui. People talk about science, but I believe in feng shui. He also emphasized that major changes, such as moving to a new house, can often bring bad luck. That is why he always consults with a feng shui master. Li Ka-shing, the famous billionaire, is also a believer in feng shui. He once said that when constructing the headquarters of Hutchison Whampoa in Hong Kong, he followed the advice of a feng shui master to ensure that his building would be taller than HSBC but shorter than the Bank of China. If you draw a diagonal line from the highest points of these 2 buildings, Hutchison Whampoa's headquarters would fall below that line. According to ancient feng shui beliefs, it is a way for humans to harmonize with nature, as humans cannot fight nature but can only blend with it. Many wealthy individuals tend to be superstitious, even though they do not often admit it. This has become a widely recognized fact. There is a saying that small money comes from effort, while large money comes from luck. When a person's wealth reaches a certain level, the ability to advance further often depends more on luck than on capability. Therefore, the wealthier individuals become, the more they are aware of this and the more easily they turn to seemingly intangible things to place their hopes in. This is a subtle psychological phenomenon where the rich are concerned about the uncertainty of the future, and feng shui is seen as a solution to this issue. In Singapore, a company specializing in feng shui that is listed on the stock exchange demonstrates the high demand for feng shui among the wealthy. The superstitions of the elite are not only a part of their culture but also a means to connect with celebrities and access more resources. Jack Ma is a prime example of how leveraging these relationships can lead to success. Sometimes, the superstitions of the elite are not entirely baseless but have very clear purposes. I hope that through this story, you recognize the importance of feng shui in life and seek more information to apply it in both business and personal life. Lesson 4. Spending money on experiences. Charlie Munger, the co-founder of Berkshire Hathaway, along with Warren Buffett, once said, "We should learn from our own mistakes, but the best way is to learn from the mistakes of others." The biggest difference between people is how they spend their money, whether on experiences or on things. Spending money on experiences like partying, singing, or drinking bubble tea are expenditures for temporary pleasure. In contrast, spending money on experiences such as inviting an entrepreneur to dinner, attending courses, or buying books to learn, is investing in yourself. You are buying valuable lessons from the lives and experiences of others, which then become your own experiences. All expenditures for experiences only last as long as you continue to spend. When it comes to solving problems, people have two approaches. Either they discover solutions on their own, which is as rare as a myth, or they work through trial and error, step by step. The core difference between ordinary people and successful entrepreneurs is that ordinary people frequently make mistakes, while if you invest in learning from those who have gone through and succeeded, you will quickly accumulate knowledge and experience for success. Investing in experience and learning from those who have gone before you not only helps you avoid costly mistakes but also provides you with a solid advantage in building and developing your career. I hope that through these pieces of advice, you will gain useful information to achieve your financial goals and career. As you absorb the knowledge and experiences of successful people into your mind, you will open the door to continuously benefiting from this world. This is why the upper class always prioritizes continuous learning. They are passionate about reading books and actively participating in networks of wealthy individuals. If you are seeking value and direction for yourself, you need to skillfully leverage the experiences of others to enrich your own life. This leads to the perspective that how you spend today will determine your future income. Buying other people's experiences is essentially buying time. In life, there are two paths you must go through. One is being deceived, and the other is learning. You are learning from the experiences of others, avoiding mistakes they spent 5 to 10 years accumulating. Poor people often have a mindset of not spending, if possible. For example, when the air conditioner breaks down, they fix it themselves. When the toilet gets clogged, they handle it themselves. As a result, they waste hours, the problem worsens, and in the end, they still have to call a professional. Rich people have a principle. For problems that can be solved with money, they don't waste time. They delegate tasks to others and don't do everything themselves. Time can indeed be bought. In life, we have many things to invest time in, from work to studying, from managing finances to cleaning the house. Time is the fairest thing. Everyone only has 24 hours a day. For example, in financial management, you can entrust your money to a fund manager, as they have spent half their lives studying financial management. Trust him to manage your assets so you have free time to take investment courses, chat with the cafe owner, or participate in a free online course. Lesson 5. Invest in ETFs, exchange-traded funds. If you genuinely want to invest but don't have the time to research, you should consider index ETFs, which Warren Buffett also highly recommends. He once said, if one day he is no longer around, his wife should invest the entire amount in index funds. In a 10-year investment challenge, the S&P 500 index has delivered an annual return of 8.5%, whereas, among the 5 investment funds selected by the test, the fund with the highest return achieved only 6.5%, and the remaining 4 funds had even lower returns. In the end, Warren Buffett won this bet. He pointed out that the fee structure of 2 and 20, often used by hedge funds, which consists of a 2% management fee plus 20% of the profits, has resulted in huge compensation for fund managers. However, this does not provide real benefits to investors. The index that Warren Buffett chose, the S&P 500, essentially means that you are simultaneously buying stocks from the 500 largest companies in the United States. Imagine there are dozens of types of fruit on the market, such as apples, watermelons, strawberries, oranges, and bananas. You are starting a fruit business and don't know which type will sell well. Instead of choosing, you decide to buy a little of each type. This is similar to buying an ETF. ETFs have two major advantages. First, they help diversify risk, which is much lower compared to investing in individual stocks. Second, they allow for the elimination of underperforming investments, as the fund periodically removes stocks that do not perform well. Warren Buffett believes that regular investment in index funds is the optimal investment strategy. In the world of investing, periodically eliminating underperforming stocks is essential. Warren Buffett believes that a combination of regular investment and index funds is the ideal investment method. Periodic investing means that you invest a fixed amount of money at specific intervals. This is completely different from making a one-time investment. For example, during the initial crash of the US stock market, many people thought it was a good time to buy in. However, unexpectedly, within just 10 days, the market experienced 3 more serious crashes. Those who hurriedly bought in at that time had to suffer significant losses. The principle of buying low and selling high is a rule for making money that never changes. However, no one can be certain when the market will rise or fall. In this uncertain situation, making a one-time large purchase is like gambling on a game of chance. Periodic investing allows you to invest in phases, thereby reducing volatility. For instance, if the market drops a total of 30%, by investing periodically, each purchase price will be lower than the previous one, and as a result, your total loss would only be about 15%. Conversely, if the market rises by 30%, your profit might be halved due to the increased average price of each purchase. This is the safest investment method in the context of risk. Thus, the essence of periodic investing is clear. It is a method that does not require precise timing predictions. Periodic investing demands patience, is a form of long-term investment, and will always yield results if you persevere. Lesson 6. Only buy what has value. Remember that a low price doesn't always mean it's cheap, and a high price doesn't always mean it's expensive. There are things that, despite their high price, are actually cheap, and there are things that, despite their low price, are expensive. For example, a cheap bubble tea that tastes bad and makes you regret spending your daily calorie allowance is actually expensive because it's not worth the money you spent. On the other hand, an expensive loaf of bread that is delicious and good for your health is actually cheap. The advice from the rich is that if an item is truly important, even if you use it frequently, within your means, you should try to buy higher quality items. Don't refuse to buy something just because it's expensive, and don't buy something just because it's cheap either. An expensive item you buy might cause you pain when spending the money, but it will bring long-term happiness. On the other hand, a bargain you get might make you happy at the time of purchase, but it could cause daily suffering afterward. The saying, "the buyer is never as wise as the seller," has its reason. If someone sells something at a very low price, they definitely have their own purpose. If that purpose is not achieved, they will certainly lose money. Therefore, before selling, they have carefully calculated their costs. When you think you have a price advantage, I believe that is often not the case. Items you buy with the mindset of getting a bargain are usually those that offer the highest profit to the seller. When you purchase something just because you think you're getting a deal, it is often a product that provides the highest profit margin for the seller, because these products are designed and priced with careful consideration of consumer psychology in mind. For example, some snacks, like potato chips, seem cheaper than main dishes, like hamburgers, but in reality, they can be more profitable. From this perspective, something that appears cheap can actually be expensive. Consumers who are always looking for deals often have limited money but plenty of time. They spend time researching, comparing, and finding out which products are priced better or where upcoming promotions are. The more they research, the deeper they get trapped by pricing traps because everything they are studying are rules set by the sellers. Perhaps we should shift our perspective a bit. Low-priced, ineffective products are truly expensive because they not only waste money but also waste your time and energy, turning hope into disappointment. In contrast, a product that is slightly more expensive but of good quality, effective, and durable is genuinely cheaper. You can calculate the daily value of the most expensive product you've purchased and recall whether the items you felt were most worthwhile were actually the most expensive ones. In reality, something cheap is not always cheap, and the greed for bargains can lead to many unforeseen costs. Spending needs to be methodical. If everyone followed a certain approach to spending, everyone would have a chance to become wealthy. This is how the rich spend their money. Lesson 7. Spending money. Everyone has the opportunity to become wealthy. So, how can you spend like a rich person? Here are 4 steps for managing money that billionaires often use. Step 1. Spend on education. Suppose you have $100, you should use half of it for learning. If you want to start a business, take a course on entrepreneurship. If you want to invest, enroll in an investment course. Investing without knowledge means you have a 99% chance of losing money, and even if you make a profit in the first year, you might lose everything in the following year. Step 2. Spend to start a business. If someone tells you that they have a project with guaranteed profits of 30% to 40%, that is definitely a scam. Even listed companies cannot achieve such profit levels. However, starting a business can yield profits ranging from 30% to 300%. If you only have $100,000, it's difficult to become wealthy just by investing or saving. Starting a business is a way to use a small amount of capital to earn significant profits. Step 3. Invest when you are ready. Once you have acquired knowledge, established your own company, and your company is operating autonomously with no capital shortages, you can begin the investment phase. Invest in 5 main asset types. When you have properly arranged these 5 assets, even during a financial crisis, you will remain secure and maintain your status as a wealthy individual. Step 4. Spending on consumption. After establishing a solid financial foundation, you can begin spending on life necessities, such as buying a house or a car. In finance, this is referred to as deferral of consumption. The most significant difference between the poor and the rich is the ability to defer consumption. Whenever you spend money, ask yourself if this money will come back to you. Am I buying an asset or accumulating debt? If you realize that you are acquiring debt, no matter how cheap the item is, avoid spending on it. Many people go to supermarkets, buy a bunch of discounted items, but end up not using them all. Eventually, these items expire. The first step in financial management is to learn how to save, and more importantly, how to spend wisely. Follow this sequence, and you'll find that the more you spend wisely, the wealthier you become. Thank you for watching this video. Each view, like, and subscription is a huge encouragement for us to continue creating even better content. Please leave a comment to let us know what you think and what you would like to see in future videos. Share this video if you find it useful. Have a great day, and see you in the next video. Summary book. Wishing you success.